what I've decided to do, I'm going to go right back to the beginning of my bodybuilding career and my wrestling career, and I'm going to basically tell the story of both stories, if that makes any sense. Right, first gym I ever trained at was Wednesbury Physical Culture Club. I used to live in Wolverhampton way, and it was a fair drive, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. But it was the only gym in the area at the time. Now this gym was run by a gentleman called Ron Bailey, and he did a fabulous job because it was the only gym within 20 miles of where I lived. So, I mean, way back then, I'm talking 1968, when I was only a kid. But as I say, it did well because there was no other gym. But you've got to remember, at that particular time, bodybuilding and weight training wasn't that popular. It was like a bizarre sort of sport, if you want to put it that way. Well, anyway, I started training there, and at the particular time I was there was a Polish guy who used to come in, and his name was George Zym, and he always came in and he always wore a black tracksuit with a zip up the front. And I only ever saw him on a Wednesday night training, and he used to have a unique way of warming up. He used to be, I obviously guessed this at the time, he was previously an Olympic lifter, because he'd start warming up, he'd have a Olympic bar with two 20k plates on, and then he'd do a squat snatch. He'd take it up, back, beautiful style, and he'd do about 15 to 20 of these to warm up before he started training. But George had some unusual methods of training, and he used to bench press an Olympic bar, but what he'd do, he'd go collar to collar. I mean, I don't know if you've even tried it. It's just impossible to do. I mean, I'm only 5'7", but he used to have to go to there, and his bench press was literally. It's that uncomfortable, and the pain is so. I just don't know how. Even to this day, I've never seen anybody else bench press collar to collar. Another unusual exercise he used to do: parallel bar dips. Yeah. Belt round the waist, dumbbell, 40-pound dumbbell or whatever. And George was about 5'8", and he weighed roughly about 12.5 stone, about 175 pounds. Now, he hadn't used to grip the parallel bars like this, like everybody else does, even today. Grab them like that. He used to grip it like this, and the thumb would go round the bar, and this thumb would go round the bar. And in that position, I used to dip. Again, the pain is unbearable. I tried for years and years and years, and even now, I still do my dips, but I have to bring the thumb to here, so it's in that position. How, again, he used to grip it like that, I have no idea at all. Anyway, I used to see him regularly on a Wednesday, and it was this summer's day in June, and George came in, and it was really hot, red hot. It was so hot, in fact, that George had to take this black top off. Zipped it down, took it off. He got a white t-shirt underneath. And Ron, who was standing up the corner, talking to a guy called Pekka, his mate, saw this, and at this particular moment in time, in the 60s, there used to be a gentleman called Edgar Jankowski, and he used to run the NLPC, which was a bodybuilding contest just in that area around Chasetown in Staffordshire. And he had every weekend he'd have a bodybuilding contest and a strongman contest, and at the end of the year he used to have bodybuilder of the year, which I entered loads of these. I won all his contests at various times. I won the bodybuilder of the year. I mean, at the time I'm talking now, I was about 18 years of age, maybe 19. But at this one particular year, when Ron spotted George, he said, George, there's a contest next week. Will you enter for me? George was about 37 then. It was an over 35s contest. But the prize, which is unusual really, was a Polish Olympic bar, being as George was Polish. Anyway, George entered all the shows, over 35s. He won everything. Honestly, he was that good. And we actually that year we won the bar. We won the Polish Olympic bar, which was great, like. But then going on from that story, as I say, George, I then saw him on a Wednesday night as usual, and then I said to him, I walked up to him one day, I said, "Where else do you train, George? You know, because I never see you here once a week." He says, "I only train once a week." I says, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I come and train on a Wednesday." I said, "Is he joking?" He says, "No." So I walked away and I did a couple of sets of what I was doing. It was in my mind, it was bothering me, so I went back and I says, I thought he must do an heavy job. He must be digging ditches or a builder or something. So I went up to him. I said, "Do you mind, George, do you mind me telling me what do you do for a living, George?" He says, "I'm an architect." He was a pencil pusher and trained once a week, like I've just explained. Fabulous physique. He'd done that for years and years and years. And actually, when I went into pro wrestling, I always remembered this, because as we all know, most people today overtrain. Most beginners start full of it, full of enthusiasm, and they're down the gym 4 or 5 times a week. Stupid. This proved to me, when you first start training with weights, you train once a week. And training once a week is like putting money in the bank. And as the weeks go by, it worked. And I started my son, Craig, exactly the same. And even today, my elder son, Paul, still trains once a week. And he's put masses of muscle on. And that's all he does. He does an overall body routine once a week. Myself, I train 3 times a week. But hang on. Reason is, I do back and biceps one session, chest, shoulder, triceps another session, but they're only short sessions of like an hour. And then on a Saturday, I do a leg routine. The reason I do the leg routine separate is because of the wrestling career I had. I'm waiting for a knee replacement. Hence, I have to be very careful what I do. All I do is leg extensions, leg curls, and adductor machine. That's all I can do. But I do about 10 sets leg extensions, 6 sets leg curls, but I can only use a couple of 3 blocks because I have to be careful of the knee. But I have to exercise the legs because I've got to. And as long as I don't go into pain, which I don't, I've found a way of doing these exercises that doesn't cause me any pain. Right. So anyway, after that, the gentleman who used to stand up the corner with Ron, Pecker, I used to watch him. All I ever saw this guy do down the gym, he got a bit of a belly on him. He was about 5'11", he must have weighed about 220. Drink coffee with Ron, a mug of coffee, drinking away. And then I discovered that Pecker used to do a strongman act. And I was talking to Ron, and then he says, "Yeah," he says, "Pecker, show me what you can do. 6-inch nail." We've all seen builders 6-inch nails. You get a flat one and you get a round one. Right? Now, obviously, I can bend a 6-inch flat. What he used to do, he used to wrap a round inch 6-inch like that in his hand, and he'd go snap them, and he'd do 5 or 6 one after another. 9-inch nail, not a flat one, a round 9-inch nail. He'd wrap it like that, hold it there, and he'd go into a U. So when I first saw him do this with the 9-inch nail, when I got home, I went in my dad's shed. He used to have a shed at the back, and I did actually find a 9-inch nail. I measured it and everything. Wrapped it, so I thought, have I got this? I think I'll put a kink in it. And I went, and I thought, yeah, I think I'll put a kink in it. So I rolled it down the bench in the shed, and it went as straight as a die. I never even marked it. Another thing he used to do, anybody remember the old 56-pound block weights they used to put on the back of coal lorries to hold the sacks on as the vehicle was moving? Stop them blowing off. He used to put one on the deck with the bar at the top. A little bar, there's a little gap so you could put your fingers through and pick it up and put it where you wanted to put it. Then he put another one on top. So the 2 bars were like that in the middle. The block here and the block here. Then he put a finger and that thumb through and gripped the 2 bars like that. And from there, he'd take it up to here and then push. Never seen anybody duplicate that. I've seen a lot try it because I've told a lot of guys about it. They got it about 2 inches off the floor, and as they went to turn it, it just fell apart. Incredible, incredible strength. Just to finish on this short story, we used to go down to the Mr. Universe contest every year. The NABA Mr. Universe in the 60s and 70s and 80s was probably the biggest bodybuilding show in the world. Far bigger than the Mr. Olympia. As you know, Arnold won, I don't know, he won 4 or 5, didn't they? But anyway, we went down, and then, as usual, after we used to go to a nightclub. Strip club, a bit of fun, you know, as one does. And we're in there. Anyway, there's a bit of altercation kicks off. And not with us, but we was involved with it. We got involved with it because anybody at them days used to see a guy with a little bit decent build, they wanted to fight you. So anyway, the doorman come charging in. Who did they grab? Pekka, because he was the biggest guy in there. Well, to a degree, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the guy slammed Pekka up the wall, and Pekka's immediate reaction was this finger, this thumb, straight under there, pushed the guy against the wall, and then we always, just keep it easy, simple. This finger, this thumb went straight through, blood spurted, and his fingers met the back of the windpipe. Even he was shocked, and he sort of loosed, and then we all looked in shock, and then we all run. And that gives you some idea of this guy. The grip was incredible. I've never seen anybody to this day match this grip of this guy called Pekka. Anyway, I'm exhausted now after all that, jumping around in my chair at my age. So, I look forward to seeing you next time, and I'll carry on with the story. And then next time also, I'll alternate. I think I'm going to alternate them. I'll do 1 week bodybuilding, 1 week wrestling, and I'm going to start at the story of each of my little stories that I've done through my life, and we'll leapfrog along like that. Anyway, nice to see you again, and I'll see you soon.